10 years ago, I was diagnosed with cervical and uterine cancer, which resulted in a radical hysterectomy, meaning my uterus and my cervix were removed. There was good news after all during my surgery. The worst case scenario didn't happen. It hadn't spread through my whole body. It only had spread to my uterus, and it hadn't spread to my lymph nodes above my uterus, so they were able to say, you can keep your ovaries. I was very lucky, and even being able to say I had cancer, but I didn't have chemo, I didn't have radiation, and I still had my ovaries. So 6 years later, I was married, and now I wanted to have a child. And I think that was the first time it hit me that I couldn't carry my own child. And how was I gonna go about this? And I wanted to be a mom, and I wanted to have a baby. And that was the first time that I was like, oh my God, I need a therapist. I need to go to therapy. This is horrible. I can't carry my own baby. I don't get to be pregnant. I don't get to share that with my husband. I don't get to lie in bed with my husband and him lie there and get to be, I'm pregnant and our baby's with us. I didn't get to have any of that. We met our surrogate finally. We met a woman who, we met her the second I met her, I knew this was it. This was the woman. She was the most remarkable woman on the planet. 6 months later from meeting my surrogate, exactly 6 months later, we were pregnant. And through there was a bumpy road. We tried a few times, it didn't work. And then finally, when we did get pregnant with Zev, it was just the most crazy road of, just, oh my gosh, we got through it. We had our baby, we have Zev. And I remember the second, we got to be in the hospital, we got to watch the pregnancy. We were the first people that Zev, saw, literally. And then I haven't let go of him since. I think giving yourself options, realistic options, is the best advice. It's like having a job that you love, but then there's always a fallback job. It's always a good idea to have just other ideas so that there's not so much pressure. I knew that if it didn't work this way, plan B was gonna go into effect. And having a plan B makes plan A not as stressful. I think that we all go through the stress of, is there a happy ending? But I think you always feel that way. I felt like, is there a happy ending? Now I can say, yes, there's a happy ending. And I believe that even through the whole craziness of having cancer, I definitely believe that my cancer was for a reason. Because if I didn't have cancer, I wouldn't have my son Zev. I would have had a different child. I would have gone a different route. But because of the cancer, I have Zev. And so I wouldn't trade anything in the world for the way I had him. If you're out there and you're watching this because you're at your last ropes, or you're trying to figure out, oh no, I just found out I can't carry my own child, or how can I go a different way? Surrogacy is an amazing way, and there are many ways, but for me, surrogacy was an amazing way, and there are amazing people out there that will help you have a child. I never would have made that first phone call to a doctor or a lawyer or all the people, or an agency, if it weren't for my friends who I was lucky enough to have in my life who said, make a phone call. So just click on the link below to hear other personal stories and the truth about trying. I'd love to hear your story. Attach a video response to my story telling me your story about surrogacy.